Hey guys, hey Chirp. Is that all we get? It's a message from Chirp. Okay. Anything else happening? Who else is here? It says 6. Am I not getting chat? What's the story? Oh, there we go. Hi, Stuart. Hi, Fridge. G'day. Damn Biscuits. Hello. That little trailer you're building looks like fun. Interested to see how you get on with that. Mark, g'day. Mark Shed Talk. G'day. What's up with everyone? I'm going to have to put this out there that there was actually a video from Dan Shed this week. So we're putting that on. I'm just going to stick that out there because everyone should go and watch it and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. And he probably won't, but he might actually post another one of it at some point. So yeah, there you go. I watched it in the car on the way to work. Well, not on the way to work, but when I got in the car park this morning. Anyway, good video. Check that out. It's probably one from Chirpy too. Should check that out. Not sure I saw. Morning, David. Mark got the lathe turned around. That's excellent. I guess you'll want to know what I did for the weekend. Not very much, actually. I spent Monday on the phone. I spent Sunday with a bit of a headache, actually. Not quite a migraine, but a bit of a headache and not feeling real good. And didn't really get up much or do much on Sunday. That was a bit poor. Tuesday I got in and did a bit. Gentleman Randy, g'day. So what did you do? What's this bag full of bits? So I'm going to put that away because it's nothing. Had these. Not going to get this out of the packet because I'm sort of clean and I'm going to stay clean at this point tonight. But got some brushes for 32 volt generated, which were quite a bit oversized. They were about 1.25 by 1/2 inch, something like that. So I machined them down. And put a bit of a radius on the bottom, the right diameter in the right place, I hope, for the armature. It doesn't matter much, I don't think, but anyway, they machined really nice, made a mess everywhere. So I don't think we need 4 of them, but we got 4 of them. Anyway. Got 4 of them. They are a bit offset, so you get a spark along the corner until they do wear in. So this gives them a bit more of a fighting chance. Anyway, so 4 of them I did. They're pretty dirty. I'll put them back in that bag and bring them with me this weekend. Then I got in and did these, which are all scratched up a bit already because they've been messed with. Finished the ends of them, sort of, roughly, and put the keys on them. Know why they did it. It just seemed like a really difficult way to actually do that. It's got a corresponding hole in the cylinder head, which that is the original cylinder head, sort of. This is for the Bay Peacock pump engine. So we've got a set of studs, head studs for these. Half-inch Whitworth with patented anti-roll off the table technology, I guess. But anyway, that's what I did. Got in and spent a fair bit of time finishing them off. Put this it's all right. Put this ring around here on each end. I should have done that first, probably, to be honest. And then just set these up horizontal or vertical on one face. And just took a series of cuts around there until they were horizontal in the dividing head. Then set the dividing head up at 20 degrees and milled a bit of a land on each end, and because that was the easiest way to do it without trying to get them to run true in the lathe again after I cut threads on them. And give them a touch on the belt finisher. So there we go. Still got to make a heap of nuts, which are that size but a bit thicker, to go on them. That's only half thick, this one. Don't think it had both. I think it just had one lot. That's how that looks. That's not so bad. Putting these holes in here in the right places. And cast iron's probably not going to be a big deal, actually. I just slot them in. Either make a bush and a key, or probably more likely what we're going to do. There's always one, Dan. Easy to spout off when you don't know the technology. There's some discussion about whether the half nut goes on the top or the bottom, but we won't go there. It's not the time or place for that. There are those that will argue there's always the time and the place for that, but I'm not one of them, because I know the truth and no one else does. Half nut goes on the bottom. And then that takes a load. Then when you tighten the other one down on top of it, if this one vibrates loose, then this one the big one still carries the force. If you put this one on top and the big one on the bottom, this just locks it down, and it doesn't take anywhere near as much force to lock that down. So this is the one that vibrates loose, and then the bottom one vibrates loose. So it doesn't work like that. The truth is out there, Scully. I'm just saying. So that's why the half nut goes on the bottom on the lock nut. I have actual documentation to back that up. See, people just parrot off this big nut at the bottom thing, but it's not how it works. I'm sort of half jerking your chain, because there's no way I can get that through to anyone, or even, I mean, my skin isn't thick enough to put big nuts on top and expect people to actually not comment on it. So I know what's right, but everyone else thinks it goes the other way up, and it's not true. Much like flat earth believers. Anyone who's interested, let me know, and I will send you some documentation about that, because I have actual scientific ideas and learned papers and things on why the half nut goes on the bottom. That's how it is. That's the long and the short of it. Or the thick and the thin of it, depending. Or the thick and the thin and the thick of it, anyway. If you put the thin one on the bottom, because that's where it goes. It's much better support. Electro Pancake will know the truth. Anyway, this one isn't going to have lock nuts on it. This has just got a full thickness nut on it, which I think is 1/2 inch thick, something like that. Might be 5/8, 1/2 inch, I think. And I've just got to get some 30mm bar and make some nuts. So 6 nuts for these and 6 for the bottom. And then there's the 5/8 ones. There's 4 of them, and then there's 4 more in the. I think there's 4 more of them in the hold the crankshaft in place, or the bearings in place on the frame. So there's a few. There's absolutely a few nuts and things and studs, but we've made a start on them, and I think they look good. I think it's probably a bit of an overkill. I can see why it's done. You can screw this in finger tight or till it lines up anyway, like that. Then sit this in place, and you can put the top nut on and then screw it down. And when you unscrew it, the stud doesn't unscrew. So you're not actually screwing the stud in deeper trying to get the nut done up. You're not screwing it out trying to get the nut undone, which is a really good idea. But there's a lot of messing around to make these shaped holes in a new head. And that's what we need to do. Yeah, and there's 1/2 of the nut, like from infrared picture, there's 1/2 of the nut with actual, like a division in front of it, like this. And it glows red on each side, where the stud's actually hiding behind the tree. Anyway. Hey, Kim Bazelic, good to see you. Brendan, g'day. Don't think I have any infrared pictures of this, but I do have some stress information. I've never seen D-shaped holes either. It's a pain. But it's no more random than putting the nuts underneath, which is where they should be. This is the hill I'm going to die on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, they hide me on a big tree. Yeah, with bits sticking out each side. So that there was a black line up the middle. That's how you, because as primitive beings like nuts have enough brains to hide behind trees. That's how that works. They know about cameras. See, Dan's a very definite non-believer, and I don't know if anyone noticed that, but he really isn't a very good believer on things like that. One day I'm going to find some pictures, but it's a little bit like yowie hunting. There's a lot of people who don't believe it. So the truth is out there, but no one's sort of knowing really. People are trying to hide it from you. That's what's happening. And yeah, that's how it is. Okay, one day I might find pictures of these studs as well. I've got drawings with this particular engine on it, but they don't really show these studs, which like these. This is the original one. I wouldn't trust this as far as I could kick it, to be honest, as far as tightening it up, because I believe these to be wrought iron. They're very, very soft, and most of them cracked or broke off very easily, and a lot of them it looked like they'd been cracked for some time, which may have been another part of the reason why they had these holes. You see, you didn't over tighten them. You screwed the bottom one in and then screwed the top one on, and you didn't sort of put too much strain on them and crack them when you're screwing them in the hole. I think that was probably some of the reason with the wrought iron studs. But this one is a bit sad, and that's how it looks. That's a genuine one, and this one is a bit nicer, and that's how it looks. Pretty much the same. So that's done. I don't know what this cylinder head even looked like. I'm pretty sure it never had a big hole in the middle. That's where I'm at with that. This has got quite a, if you have a look, it's got quite a recess that goes down inside the cylinder. About ½ inch there, something like that. Like that. And it's got a cavity in the top, which I guess is where the piston rod nut comes to. The piston probably comes here. This is quite badly pitted. This bolts down on the cylinder. It's not very big, as you can see. It's not a huge big engine. This at some point had a plate with 3 studs, which aren't original, and 3 nuts on it. Oh, there might have been 3 bolts even. So someone's chopped that off, put a plate on it with the thread in the middle, and bolted a plate on with a bit of gasket or lead or something. That's what that had. Now, this is busted out to about there. So I'm guessing that this had sort of a top hat here somehow, or it should have, with a thread in it for either an oiler or for a drain cock. So I don't believe it was a drain cock. It may have been, but there's only one in the top. There's not one in the bottom, which makes it a bit strange. Hey, Paul. There's more likely a tallow cup went in the top here, I think. That's how I'm feeling about that. And I guess it had a... by a tallow cup, I guess it mean a displacement oiler, or just usually just a brass fitting with a top and bottom, and somewhere to pour the oil in the top in a bowl. So you drop the oil in and close the top one, and then the displacement of the water push the oil back into the cylinder, and you end up with something that's full of water, and you sort of open the top of it and it blows it out everywhere and makes everything sticky and messy. Or you don't, then it drains back through the engine and doesn't do much for lubrication. But that's what I'm guessing was on top of that. But I've got no idea, because it's really thin here and it's obviously chipped out or broken off, or maybe it was out this big and someone's ground the top off or machined the top off and then put a plate on it. I don't know. I really don't know. See, there's sort of a rough casting or something mark around there with a different finish there and there. But it's not real round, so I'm not sure if it's the original casting. Waiting for drawing on that. Don't know. There's no electronics in this one, unfortunately. But that's from 1850, something like that. So 170 years ago. And that's why they had that. To the best of my knowledge, that was why that system was actually a system. There's a lot to do before we get a new cylinder head. Whether I cast one or whether I just basically find a bit of 6-inch Durabar and machine one up, or what happens, I don't know. I really don't know yet. I don't think we'll be fixing this one. So that's where we're at. But it's a little side project. We've got 6 studs. There's 6 more studs with a bit more thread on them, with a bit more blank on the middle. I think they're about that long and same size. that go in the bottom for this bottom cover, and then there's 4 big ones for the other piece that I already have a new casting for. Why no one made a casting for this while they're at it, I don't know. Probably because no one knew what it looked like. But there's 4 going this one, in each corner. 4 studs the same. This is machined off, and then it's got a hole through here for the rod. I don't think it goes all the way through. I don't know whether it does go all the way through or whether this is just a boss. I don't believe it goes all the way through, but I believe that this has got a gland in this side and probably a small bush in here for it to run in, and then it's just got a yoke like this according to the drawing, and it doesn't come up further. So this boss here may have been the steam inlet. Don't know. Maybe the steam inlet. See, this has got some funny cutouts here, so maybe the steam inlet was in the side here. Not sure. I do have another piece that this was cast off. It's mostly body filler, so I'm at some point going to need to discard it or clean it up or get it sandblasted and see what's left. See how it looks, see what I can find, and see where all the holes go. But probably could get a drawing for this at some point too if we knew the number. It'll be there, you just got to know which number it is. So that's got to be machined off, and then this slide valve goes in there like that. I'm not sure whether this space here actually works as a guide for the slide valve or what. I don't know. But yeah, they look like Land Rover spares with probably less integral rust. It's just on the outside on these. I'll give it that. Less rust. So don't know whether that should be a gap around it. I don't think so. I'm guessing that this one here just opens and closes the middle port and the exhaust, and then this one opens the top and the bottom on the outside from the steam chamber. This is bronze or brass or something. Yeah, probably bronze. That's the actual valve. Dan, you wait a week for that and your Land Rover will be rusty again and you'll be doing it again. You know that. So there's a fork goes round here, which is wrought or cast or something, where that goes inside, and that's got a rod on it that comes through here. That's been chopped off because someone had to get the engine apart, and that looked like the easiest way to do it, I guess. It's a bit of a pain, but we're either going to have to weld it or fix it or make a new one. I think we'll be making a new one because this bridle that goes around here is actually rusted out. I believe that piece is here somewhere, but I'm not sure. It might be in the van, tucked away. It might be in the toolbox even. Might be in one of those toolboxes. Or it might be in my toolbox in the van, I think. But this is a work in progress. You've got to machine this off flat and bore this one. Work out what thread goes in the top here. Drill these and broach holes in them. They've got like teardrop holes that go sort of on that angle there, like that, at 45 degrees each one. So it's a matter of setting up some sort of brooch or probably winding them through with a mill or something like that, or pressing a brooch through, or whatever happens. Shaper would be ideal, and just pity I sold my shaper because that'd be ideal for this little job. And get those holes so that this lines up but in between we've got to drill this and put some bolts in it and bolt this on, and then we've got to probably drill the remaining bolt. It's a bit of a mess because I'm going to block that up in the cylinder. So bit of work. Anyway, that's what's happening. That's what I did yesterday. Messed around with them. There's a reasonable chance that this engine will go again one day. There's a bit of work in it. So there we go. What other exciting things are happening? Don't know really. I went and put some yellow paint on my box, which I had every intention of doing, but I had problems with one particular bit, and then I wiped it, and it ended up being a green box rather than a blue box because it stained it. So I ended up putting another top coat on it, and I'll let that dry for a week, and I put all the trim back on it. And next week I might just be a bit more careful with that. I'd love to see this running too, but it's going to be a while. It's not huge, but there's a lot of bits missing. And there's a lot of bits that, even if they are here, they're only half here, like that. Like the cylinder head, and like this. There's another one. I'm going to put this down for a minute. You can examine the rust. I'm just going to go and grab the other one. I'll be back. Journeyman Randy's had snow. Bill went to bed. He was on a promise. Where are you off to on vacation, Randy? Tell us about that. This is the original, all right? Now, you see, actually I got these the wrong way around. The actual teardrops point out rather than in. I reckon that body filler would punch out of there all right. This piece here, which looks like it's mostly filler for the casting, just looking at this under the bright light, can't see anything there. There's definitely been a hole and two studs there. In the best Bay of Peacock practice, these studs are actually retained with two riveted pins here, one here and one here. They're a bit notorious for that. You see that? Turn that a bit so you can see it. So there's actually a pin that holds this stud, that holds the gland on each side. All the rest of them are like that too. It's a really stupid way to do it. Also the crankshaft's got a similar pin through it, so that's how that works. That would probably knock out two, I think, maybe. Tennessee, whereabouts in Tennessee? It's a nice state. Which city? You going to the Big Smoke, or you going to the mountains, or? If we have a look at this, Don't go to Lynchburg for holidays. You know that there's a dry town. Something you learn when you go to Tennessee on holiday is that any town with a distillery you can't actually buy whiskey in. So it's one of life's strange enigmas of the Bible Belt. I don't know if this had a hole in here or not. I really don't. Just looking around. This looks like it's probably had a hole in this side, but I'm not sure. If we have a look there, it looks like there might have been a hole through there, so it'd be interesting to knock that out and actually see. As for this one, I can't see that there might have been a hole in there. I have to give it a tap with a hammer. Really not sure. One of the mysteries. So I don't know where the steam got in. No idea. These 4 holes look like they're about to knock out. This is a big hole in here that looks like it was mostly body filler because it's been rusted out. I believe that this had ER Peacock & Co. Manchester on it, stamped in. Now, I can't see any, looking under here, I can't actually see any evidence of that because of the body filler. But the reason I only had ER is because there was a really great hole in this side here by the look of it. Wouldn't be surprised about that. Don't know what holds that. Anyway. Looks like most of these will probably come out with very little work if you wanted to get them out. But there we go. There's those 2 pins for the studs. The bottom cover's got those as well. It's marked on the drawing as being an actual thing. So, no idea. Spent quite a bit of time in Nashville, which is a nice town. Very nice town, actually. Feels a bit like home, actually. I see pictures or videos from Nashville. It's getting close to being somewhere that I probably should have spent some time or nearly settled down in. But anyway, it's another story. There's a lot of body filler in this. Anyway, that's the idea, is to turn this casting into one of these when we work out where all the holes go. And then bolt that on top of the other bit. And with that bit inside it and another bit sticking out. And then make a gland for this. I think I've probably got the original gland to go on here. I believe I have that. So, this week in Lexington. What's at Lexington? Where is that? That's up in the northwest of the state, is that right? No, southeast. Have to think about that. Randy's loading luggage. It must be getting imminent. It sounds like an awesome holiday. A little bit jealous. I've got the weekend away at this point. Well, I've got the weekend away. I'm going to Dan's for the weekend to steam an engine, do some shed building and meet some people and probably eat some good food and get some sleep. That's what we're doing. So that's going to be fun. anyone who wants to come down is welcome to. Probably plenty to eat, plenty to look at, plenty to talk about, probably something to drink. Should be a good weekend. That's at Grafton or behind Grafton. Anyone who's keen, stop by and let us know, and we'll know when to expect you. It's a long shot. There's quite a hole in that side. I wonder if the hole corresponds in this side. There's a lot of body filler. Someone was expecting this other casting to shrink more than it was, I think. As far as shrink this way, it's going to just clean up, and that's all. Put a thicker gasket on it if we got to. We'll run a milling cut around there, I guess. Whether we just leave the corners round. I would imagine that this was squared up on a plane or a shaper or something. If we leave the corners round, we might have to round off this valve to make that work, but I don't think it'll matter much, as long as it's got enough movement in it. We have to measure the eccentric to get that, so before that happens, that's another job. So, do you reckon there's a pin in there? No. So that's what we're faced with. That's the part of the fun job for restoring old engines, especially crappy old engines that haven't got a lot of life left in them at this point. The cylinder block needs a new liner in it. Everyone's seen that. It's going to need some studs drilling out and retapping. It's going to need the piston and rod moving out, and it's going to need the bottom cover pulling off. I believe these are probably metal to metal, so you can't even get a hacksaw blade in here where there's a gasket to cut the studs off to remove the bottom cover, because that's absolutely something I'd attempt if that was the way to do it, but it's not. So that's what I'm doing. Been messing with Bill's thing a bit. Chucked one of them up, looked at the mud map and thought, yeah, it's a lot of mess to clean up on that little bit of brass, so that might wait. Made a new, this is Bill's hardness tester, I've made a new prototype for the cover on that, which is looking alright. Trying to chase around and see if I can find a glass about the right size. That'll be next. Sure, there's one out there, something we can do. We could cut out of Perspex anyway. It'd be nice to put a glass and a proper seal on a neoprene seal so that you can pop it in. And that'd be a good job then. If you put a Perspex one in, you've got to put some sort of retainer on it, then you can put screws in it, all that stuff. Got this out, had a bit of fiddle with it. That's about all. Peter's been out, obviously. Hello, Peter. Had a bit of a fiddle with this. That was about all that happened. I'm going to clean this bench off at some point and have a bit more of a go. So that's kind of it. What else is everyone else happening? Everyone else doing? What's going on? There was no sign of Nigel tonight, but there was 2 videos from Go Create Hobby. There's Nigel Walton's channel. One on making a very nice little tap follower, I thought, with some really smart ideas, and one on his die filer. There's one from Bill on building plastic models, which is something that I'm trying not to be too interested in with all the other projects that are going on. What else I see? There's one from Cam at Battler. Good video as always. It's a great guy, Cam, down in Melbourne. You should go and check him out. Battler's Workshop. Mark now has his boiler at home in the shed. I guess the big job now will be to do some pad welding and put some bits in it and get it all going and get it tested and start bolting bits back on it. Big job, Mark. Well done for undertaking it. But he's got the boiler at home in the new shed. It's been down at Peachtree at the machinery club while the shed's being built. So there we go. Ted Rosa, g'day. Good to see you. I don't know if there's much else, to be honest. I haven't got a lot else to say. I'm feeling a bit burned out and a bit exhausted. I've got to drive to work tomorrow, get through the day and get through the next day, and then drive to Grafton and get through the weekend putting some H-purlins on the shed so we can put some tin up. It's going to end organising some events and things. Trying to get a little bit scheduled. I'm not very good at that. Yeah. Big learning curve is easy. Everyone would have one, apparently. You're better off with the learning curve. I thought it was easy, so I got one. It's not. I'll tell you that now. It's damn hard work. But we get there. It'd be less hard work if I had more Saturdays and more weekends to put into it, but that's, at the moment, it's a bit sketchy. Soon I hope to fix that. Looking for a whistle valve for this little engine up here. If anyone has one kicking around, in packet or whatever, old stock, or has any thoughts about it, or a drawing for one, so I can make one, hit us up. Absolutely, because I'd like to get that in steam. It's a brand new engine, but it was the plastic whistle valve is just disintegrated. So that's another thought. Got some artwork for sale. There'll probably be more before there's less. If anyone's keen, hit us up too. It's a long shot. Probably going to end up. Where do I get this engine from? The Willesco. Bought in the auction. It's a D2, I think. It's just an oscillator. Willesco. It's not a bad little engine. It's never had a fire in it. They've outlawed the tablet fuel for this in the UK and in Europe, so that's getting a bit hard to find, but hand sanitizer gel works pretty well, I think, from what I've read so far. So anyone who's got any more updates on that, I'd be happy to hear. Anyway, it's all happening. The place is littered with old projects that need attention. Dozens of them. No shortage of projects that need attention. And sometimes I'm in the mood for things like this, so I do a little bit. Sometimes I'm in the mood for other things, so I do that. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for anything. Yeah, you can run on meths. There is a Willesco, there is a Mammoth. Mammoth actually produce a gel fuel, which I believe is basically hand sanitizer, which works, but a meths burner for that wouldn't be a big deal. Let's see what this one's actually got. We'll pull him down and have a look. He's getting a bit dusty. It's a nice little engine, but it's never had a fire in it. It's never been steamed. It's a D5, this one. It's got a little tray for tablets, which that doesn't work with hand sanitizer or metho. But probably you can get a metho burner for it too. Firelighters sort everything up. They're not really the answer. You want something that burns a bit cleaner than that. So let's zoom out for you. Yeah, zoom level max. Sorry about that. Anyway, this whistle here, it's only finger tight. Probably you could just put a plug in it. Safety valve works. That's on there. Safety valve. We could probably make a plug for this without too many issues. But making a whistle handle might be fun too. It's just a tapered plug. They're available, but they're fairly expensive for what they are, and I just haven't got there yet. I don't know if it's much of a whistle, but I reckon a plug in there wouldn't be a very big thing, or a valve or something. It's very easy to get them too hot and scorch them, especially when they've got nice new paint on them. So I'm not sure about that. But it's only a little oscillator. It's not a bad little engine. I've got a couple of bigger ones of these that are in bits, restoration projects. And at some point when I'm feeling rich, I could probably just buy all the bits off eBay and put them together and get them nice. Hasn't happened. But yeah, this is brand new. It's never, I don't think it's ever had a fire. Well, it's never had a fire in it because I put it together. Anyway, it says watch water level in German. It's got a gauge glass on it. A little chimney, which doesn't actually do anything because this is your fire vents here. Little, no oiler on it, but little single cylinder oscillator, which belts along, I think. Anyway, it's sitting here, and at some point I need a whistle valve for it, and I'll give it a run. Anyway, I might call it, guys. Randy, have an amazing holiday, and I hope you're looking forward to that. Don't know how far you got to go, but enjoy. How far do you got to drive? Looking for an update on your engine, Team Biscuits. How's that working for you? No pressure. There was an update from Dan's Shed, so go and check that out. It's one of Bill's knives. A bit of a look at the new shed and some of the engines and things since last update. So that's all right. There was a live from Mark's shed last night, I think. Was it last night? Yeah, or Sunday night? Monday night? Last night? Showing that all the bits coming back in the shed. Not sure what Chirpy's up to, but you should go and check his channel out too, because he's always got stuff going on. I've got too much time as well. But anyway, I'm going to call it. Take care, guys. Be kind to each other. And we might even remember to take a video camera this weekend, I reckon. Try and do that. Give you some actual footage of stuff. So take care. I'm out of here, and more soon.